All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight for the Q Sciences product training call. My name's Jane, and I help out with corporate team, and I'll be hosting tonight. So to get started, we're excited to have Dr. Kimberley, our Chief Science Officer, here with us tonight. And Dr. Kimberley, as many of you know, is a medical doctor and naturopath with 30-plus years of medical experience. He's also very passionate about natural products, and he is also one of our formulators of our products, including Q Vitalize and Q10 Plus. So he is going to actually talk about kind of a different topic tonight, which is something that we've been getting a lot of questions about and a lot of interest in, and so we thought it'd be a great time to let him have the floor and address this topic, and it's related to how our products are created and where we get the ingredients from, and some of the questions about that. So Dr. Kimberley, are you there?
Jane, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
All right, thanks. Well, I'd like to speak today about some issues that have been coming up in the Ask the Docs forum, which we always try to answer all your questions. And I thought by dealing with some of these issues tonight, we could, the people on the phone here tonight you're going to have a leg up because you're going to be well informed. We want you IBOs to be as successful as possible in your business, and part of that, as we know, is overcoming objections. People are well informed these days, and maybe a bit too well informed. And as you know, the internet is a big place, and most of what's out there about supplements, about health, etc., is either wrong or distorted. And so it's my job to help you kind of navigate through that field of misinformation and let you know some things in no uncertain terms so that when a potential client or partner brings something up, you have the ammunition to overcome that objection. First of all, Q96 has been in widespread usage for over 17 years. There has never been any toxicity whatsoever, any untoward effects, other than some minor, non-specific side effects in some people, and it could not be safer. Now, a question that's been coming up is GMO, genetically modified organisms, and people are concerned about GMO, and rightly so. The corn, the wheat they might eat, the cattle, the beef, or whatever. Certainly, they don't want to be taking in GMO, primarily because of the DNA contained in those products. And we don't know whether the DNA is harmful, but it's not good. And first of all, there are no GMO ingredients in any Q96, any of the Q Essentials, any Q Sciences products, and neither will we ever use anything that could possibly be contaminated with GMO substances. And I've been getting emails and Ask the Docs that have been saying that GMO items or ingredients are things like ascorbic acid, which, as you know, is vitamin C, and that is kind of silly because vitamin C could not possibly be GMO, and if it were GMO, it's a purified vitamin substance, an acid, and there'd be no way for any DNA to be attached to that. And you need to think about where GMO products are being made, and it's in agriculture and meat production, but not in the supplement productions, not in vitamins, etc. And the herbs we use in Q Vitalize are all, as much as possible organically sourced, and there would never, ever be GMO. And in fact, nobody has ever made a GMO herb because there's no money in it. So that being said, I have good news. I have shared with Jane a large document that Tony Steffen wrote on all the ingredients in Q96, explaining why they're used, describing the dosages in some cases, and also providing research on what is a toxic dosage or what is too much of a particular nutrient. And for example, Q96 it is vital in a number of bodily functions, and without copper of some kind being taken in, eventually you get very sick and could die. But I got an email a couple weeks ago that said, copper's been associated with brain dysfunction. Well, too much copper is a risk factor for Alzheimer's, but you're not going to get too much copper. We recommend that people take Q96 for their minerals and that they don't add other minerals, because this is a tried and true formula that will continue to stay the way it is regardless, because we have over 20 clinical studies done on this particular formula. And if you start changing things on a whim, then you lose the validity of those studies. Now, I just had an email that said, why aren't we using the natural form of B6 in Q96? Well, first of all, pyridoxine hydrochloride is a natural form of B6. When the vitamins are synthesized in processes, yeast and bacteria, in the laboratory, they need to be stabilized, and a hydrochloride form it helps stabilize the pyridoxine so that it can be absorbed, and there's never been any toxicity or problems associated with that form of pyridoxine. In fact, I've got an article in front of me that shows that pyridoxine greatly reduces toxicity from drugs and other toxins, and so that's the case there. Now, these days people read the labels with a magnifying glass or maybe even a microscope, and the active ingredients in Q96, including the iron, the nickel, etc., those dosages have been very carefully devised, and you can find articles on problems associated with high doses of certain minerals, and those are not relevant to Q96 because these are there in literally trace amounts, just the right amount that your body needs to function normally, to provide a good environment for your cells. Now, there are excipients in Q96, and excipients are ingredients that allow the formulation to work, to be put into capsules or tablets. And without these, it would be really impossible to produce Q96 the way we do and keep it available and keep the price in a reasonable range. And some of those that you might find are titanium, which is a metal that is really not absorbed by the body, and so it's really not a factor. It's there in a very tiny amount that allows the ingredients to flow and go into capsules. And in fact, the iron in Q96 blocks any possible absorption or irritation from the titanium, so it's really not an issue. The other is silicon dioxide, and these are issues that people have asked about specifically. And silicon dioxide is one of the most common elements in the world in the Earth's crust, and it's in the food you eat. It's in, as all these ingredients are, the excipients are in literally, most supplements, and that require them. And silicon dioxide, again, is not absorbed, and any that might be absorbed would be completely harmless. Magnesium stearate is the next, and this is a magnesium salt that is basically kind of fatty, and it allows the ingredients to mix together well and to have a nice capsuling process. So those facts will help you overcome objections. When somebody comes to you and says, is there any GMO? The short answer is no. And I'll certainly be glad to answer any questions about particular ingredients that people feel that they are GMO or they're toxic or whatever. But I can tell you that my answer across the board is going to be no. There's no toxicity. There's no GMO. So you can rest assured that what you're getting is the right supplement. It is completely harmless, and it will provide remarkable benefits to you and your customers. Now, Jane, I would like you to make available the PDF I sent Tony. You hear that, Jane?
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Kimberley.
No, I was just going to say I'd like to make that article, that document that Tony sent, available on the website so that people can go through things on their own.
Okay, yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for sharing that. And I just wanted to point out, like Dr. Kimberley said, that if you have questions, you can always email askthedoctors@qsciences.com. But hopefully this will answer a lot of the questions that have been coming up. Dr. Kimberley, was there anything else you wanted to address?
Well, I just want to say that when you get information from the internet yourself or from somebody else, make sure you consider it carefully. Consider the source. Read the article. Figure out how this meshes with everything I've just shared, and then you'll be able to effectively overcome anybody's objections.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight and for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And that's actually a great time to go now. We have a few testimonials tonight that people that are going to tell us about their experiences with Q-Essentials, actually, specifically, which, as we all kind of know, encompasses 4 of our main products, which are Q96 or Empower Plus, Q96, Q-Biotics, Q-Vitalize, and Q10 Plus. And let's go first to Sydney O'Reilly. Sydney, are you there? I know everyone's here, but I know we're having a little trouble with the muting, but are you there, Sydney? Give her 1 second. Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself, if you would, and just tell us what you've experienced.
Well, as I was saying, my husband and I have such a sense of mission and purpose involved with this product because of our experience. I was chronically depressed from like 17 years old to in my mid-40s. And I was hospitalized for 5 weeks, and I had 6 children at home, which was not a good circumstance. And when I got out of the hospital, I decided I don't want to do this anymore. And I'd had hours and hours of therapy and took the things that I felt were helpful and started concentrating on that and threw out all the things that weren't so helpful, and worked for about 3 years to reprogram my thought process, which really helped. And I was at least at a point where I wanted to be on the planet, and that's something to be truly grateful for. But there was still a sense of irritability, anger, guilt, dread, you name it, every negative emotion that I'd have to wake up in the morning and battle. And I would tell myself every day, today's going to be different. I'm going to be kinder to my husband and going to be this person that I know I can be. And I would battle daily. And then 3 or 4 years ago, I read a book called The Sugar Addict's Total Recovery Program. And in its pages, I found myself. And it talked about how some people are affected by white flour and white sugar. Their brain chemistry is actually affected. And I thought, well, this is worth a try, And so I did. I took myself off of white flour and white sugar and found that I didn't have to battle quite so hard, which was a miracle to me, and I was so grateful. But it just, so 1 week, like last April, 3 people talked to me about Q Essentials, only none of them really tried to recruit me or sell it to me, but they were just telling me what a great product it was. And I wasn't even sure what it was about. But we went to the Women's Expo at the end of April, and they had a booth there. And because I'd heard so much about it, I just practically ran into that booth and said, tell me about your product. Because I'd gotten the impression it was nutrients for the brain, and I knew that my brain reacted to nutrients. And so they told me the story. They asked me if I'd be willing to buy a sample, and that, boy, was I, yes. I mean, there was no question. And we got the sample home, and my husband started saying, okay, when we start taking it. And I said, no way. I knew I needed it, and I was going to take it. So by the 3rd day, I felt a difference. And by 7 days, it was like I was let out of prison. And I knew that this was something I needed. And that was several months ago. And then I began taking the Q Essentials. And it's just been a miraculous journey. Not that there hasn't been a few valleys and hills, but like I said, I'm a different person. And I jokingly tell people I took a pill and my husband got better because I was no longer irritable and no longer woke up at night with feelings of dread and anxiety and guilt. And Dr. Amen is also a brain specialist, and he talks about automatic negative thoughts. He calls them ants that march through your brain. And on Q96, all of that went away. And it was like I could finally see my life as it really is. And it's just been such a joy, and it's something that I never want to be without. And I'm so grateful. And thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. That's such a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that and for being with us here tonight. And I know that you and your husband are off to a movie, so thanks for doing that, even though I know you're kind of busy tonight.
You're so welcome. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, we have 2 more people. Let's go now to Angel Rodriguez. Angel, are you there?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah. Hey, Angel. Thank you.
My name is Angel. I'm from Utah, and I don't have a testimony extraordinary like you guys, but one of the things, I'm in love with the product. First of all, my energy level where it was before and now is absolutely a lot different now. But one of the things that I see a difference in myself now is with my stomach. I used to suffer a lot from acid reflux. And one of the things, taking Q Essentials for me right now, I haven't had any problems for almost 2 months now. That means memory-wise, I see the difference in myself, but the stomach for me was a big thing because I've been suffering for that, for quite a while, and it's amazing. That's for me, but the people around me, their memories, I don't know. For me, the memory is amazing. How much improvement I have now. Anyway, what I want to say is that Q Essentials for me is one of the things that I take it every morning, every afternoon, and it's amazing the difference of any other stuff that I've been taking before. That means I'm very grateful to be in Q Science. I'm grateful to be part of the team. I'm grateful to be part of the family that is amazing. The changes that I see of people that I talk to every day is, I don't know, I'm looking forward to talk to anybody that doesn't know anything about Q Science every day. I feel that it's a mission for me, and it's great. I'm excited, and I'm going to share this with anybody that I can. And thank you for your time, guys. I'm really very happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Angel. We really appreciate that testimonial as well. That's so fantastic to hear how excited you are, and I know you're helping a lot of people. Well, we'll go back now to our last testimonial, and that is Stephanie Green. So, Stephanie, let's get you unmuted because I know she had a little technical difficulty. But, Stephanie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, crystal clear.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, first of all, I'm very honored to be able to be on the call tonight. And my husband and I have been involved with Q Sciences since April, and are just thrilled to be able to be part of this, like Angel said, part of this family, and to be sharing. My husband and I both started immediately taking the Q Essentials. We neither one have had any mood disorder issues, but we both started on the Q Essentials. My husband, for 20 years, has had acid problems, and after only about 10 days on the Q Essentials, he doesn't have any acid problems whatsoever. He can eat whenever he wants, whatever he wants, and he used to not be able to eat anything past 6 o'clock at night, or he would be up all night with acid. Myself, I just generally feel better being on the Q Essentials. You know, we all have stressful lives, and I work full time, and we do the Q Sciences on the side, and with, you know, other things involved in life. But I go every month to a massage therapist. That's one of my expenditures that I will not do without, and she knows that I've been taking this, and I actually got her taking the Q96, and she's loving that for her anxiety issues. And she told me this last month when she worked on me. She does some kind of extensive massage things, not just a regular massage, but it's like spinal touch therapy is one of them, and another one is craniosacral therapy, where they actually manipulate the bones in your head, in your skull. And she just told me when she got finished that the Q Essentials, she could tell it was helping me, my whole body, a whole lot more than I would ever be able to realize. I just feel better generally taking it, and know that it's helping my body, know that it's helping my brain and all of my body. But one of the neatest experiences that we have had, we have several people that are taking the Q Essentials, and one lady in particular that we have been able to share with, she's a registered nurse and has not been able to work for several years. Has almost been kind of secluded in her house to a point where she deals with fibromyalgia and some osteoarthritis, some other health issues. She has depression from not feeling good all the time for so long. And the first time I saw her, she looked very sad. She was, you know, very nice to talk to and everything, but her story made me very sad, and I could tell that she just didn't feel good. Any time to even just touch her made her whole body hurt. And so she kind of secluded herself and didn't go and do any activities, and just generally didn't get up in the morning and get herself ready or want to do anything. And after only, I believe she's into about week 5 now of being on the product, she is actually getting up every day and getting ready, and actually is now going out and going for walks with her husband, which is something that before being on the Q Essentials she would never have been able to do. And they've been able to travel and take a couple of trips and go see children. And so that's one of the biggest things that has been a blessing to us, is just seeing the difference that this is making in people's lives and the life-changing experiences that they are having. And so it's just been a great opportunity for us to share with people, and to share the products, and be able to share the business with people, and really truly be able to change lives and change families. So our motto is share the Q, be the change. So that's my challenge to everyone. And as Scott Malone said last night, we are on a crusade. So thank you for allowing me to be on the call.
Thank you so much for being on and for sharing that. I love hearing all these different stories. It's just exciting to hear how it's helping so many different people. Well, it's about time now. We're about ready to wrap up, so I just want to thank everybody again for your time, for joining us tonight and spending this time with us, and thank Dr. Kimberley for all that great information he shared, and all of the people who joined to share their stories and testimonials. So everybody, I hope you have a great night. Cue it up, and be sure to join us again next week, tonight, for our next product call. So thank you all again for joining us.